drill or driver? That's the question of the day. What we want to talk about here is a cordless drill versus a cordless impact driver. Let's define what's going on here. This is a cordless drill. This is an impact driver. What happens with the impact driver is that when we're running this and it's putting in a screw, it's going to get to a point where as it feels resistance from the screw going in, it starts to kind of bang on the driver. So let's say in your personal experience, at some point you were working on a car or a tractor or a big heavy pipe, and it got to where no matter what you did, you couldn't turn that hard enough to get it to come loose. What you might have done was taken a hammer and hit the wrench, and that impact is trying to crack it loose. Same thing here. What that impact action is doing, the brrrr we hear, is it's rotationally advancing that to give it that, to help drive the fastener in. Now, don't confuse that with a hammer drill. On a hammer drill, that impact is at the back of the shaft and it's helping drive it forward, the drill bit. And in that case, what we're doing, most likely, is we're trying to drill holes in concrete, and the impact is this way, like a little jackhammer, to help the drill go through the concrete. This is a rotational impact to help the fastener go in. So, here's the question. Which of these do I need? Both. A couple different things going on here. Commonly with drills, we get a chuck. What's the benefit to that? In the chuck, I can put any of the myriad round shank drill bits or drivers or anything I own can go into that 3-jaw chuck and get tightened in place. Downside, when it comes to a driving operation, maybe you've experienced this, even though we get our driver in there nice and tight, sometimes, especially when we're under a lot of torque, the chuck might come loose. Different dealio on impact drivers. In this case, the collar comes back, or out, I'm sorry, the collar comes out, the driver slips in, let go of the collar, it grabs onto that hexagonal shape. The relief in there keeps that from falling out. So even when we're under a lot of stress from using that, that driver cannot fall out of there. Where does that put us in the world of drill bits? Well, what that means is then your drill bits need to look like this, because if we're going to drill holes with this, our drill bits have to have that same hexagonal shape on them. These can be found at home centers, but do I want to go back and replace every round drill bit I own so that it has a hexagonal shape on it? Maybe not. Where we really benefit from these is when we're doing heavy-duty driving. A couple of examples: hanging cabinets on a wall, putting cleats on a wall that cabinets are going to hang on. Anytime that we're driving a bigger fastener, the impact driver really pays off. Most commonly, impact drivers do not have a clutch on them like drills do. Part of the reason for this is compactness. By not having a clutch, we can keep the body of this smaller, allowing it to get into tighter spots. Both of these offer the ability to light your work. Impact driver, as soon as I squeeze the trigger, I'm throwing some light out there. All honesty, first time I saw the light on a cordless tool, I thought that seems a little weird, until the next time I had to drive a screw inside a cabinet that was already installed. On our cordless drill here, we have a similar benefit. There's a light right there under the chuck that's throwing light on our work. Let's do a little driving experiment and see what happens here. I've got a couple of 3-inch screws. We've got 12-volt batteries in each of these tools. Freshly charged, a pine 2x4. This is my drill. I'm just getting it started there, and here we go. You can count in your head if you want. Now, pretty fast. One of the things you probably heard there was chunk, chunk. That was my Phillips tip slipping out of its engagement there a little bit. Here comes my impact driver. I'm going to give it the same benefit, get it started. Count in your head. Prior to this, prior to shooting this, we did time these. The impact driver put that screw in just a little bit faster than the regular drill did. It does make it a whole lot easier, the impact action, to keep the tip engaged with the screw. Why is that a big deal? If this slips off and penetrates your work, you're going to leave a mark in your cabinet or whatever else it is you're driving into that you don't want. So here's where we're at. Am I going to pull out an impact driver to drive number 6 half-inch screws into face frame hinges? Probably not, because I want to have a delicate touch to make sure I don't break those screws off. Am I going to drive heavy-duty 3-inch screws through a cleat, through drywall, into a stud with this? Not if I can use this, because this is going to make it a lot easier on me and a lot faster to get the screw in place. So they both have a place in your shop. They both have distinct advantages, and it's really worth having one of each if you can fit it into your checkbook, because they're very handy to have. They both do great work. They're both great additions to a shop environment.